quick video, just mainly because this thing is leaking oil. This is a 2GR FE engine, Toyota Sienna minivan, I believe. I think it's a Toyota Sienna. So as you can see down there, I've got a steady stream of oil that's shooting at the radiator. Now the problem with these is there is actually a, there's oil lines that run to what I believe is an oil cooler. So it leaves two metal lines and it goes through two rubber lines. And this is actually shooting a steady stream. You can see oil is just pouring out from under this thing. So I put another bottle in just so that I could run this and verify where it was spraying from. Because I just cleaned off the area around it, but it's a word of caution, you don't want to run this. You don't want to run this with without oil. You will end up seizing your engine. This one still runs. My friend called me whenever it was actually like right after it happened. He noticed it was pouring a ton of oil, so I just told him not to drive it home and just to leave it where it's at. So, but that's it really. I mean, this thing, it's spraying oil out of those rubber lines. So you can't replace it with regular rubber lines. You have to get rubber that's rated for transferring oil, and they look like they are 90-degree. Angle hoses, so you're better off finding the OEM part for this vehicle. And this is what year is this? So this is a 2007 Toyota van. So again, it's a 2GR engine. That's the V6 engine, and the actual liter is 3.5 liter. V6. Okay, so the part came in the mail. This is the part that was off the van that had the pinhole in it that was spraying oil earlier on in the video, and this is the newer part. This isn't specifically for this van. I believe this is for the FJ Cruiser with the same engine, but as you can see, the gasket's made up, right? Like, here's the gasket, there's the gasket part number for the, I believe this is the lower gasket, or the lower fitting. So there's the part number on the gasket. There's a part number on the other gasket. They're not the same gaskets, like, meaning they're not interchangeable here, but this is the same. Like, this is the new one, and this is the old one. You can see it's perfectly on top of that. So even though it's a slightly different part number, this and this, as you can tell visibly, they are identical. It will be a little hard to get this on because these are metal. So there wouldn't be that much room to give, but just got to work with it and get it on. So it was pretty easy to get these, to get to the, I think 5 of the 6. So there's a stud in each of these sides, and there's a nut that goes through. Sorry, there's a stud with a nut here, and then there's a bolt that goes through the middle of each of these flanges. It was pretty easy to get to 5 of the 6 of them. The one that's the highest up, closest to the exhaust, is the hardest to get to, so I just had to use a regular shallow socket. It was a little tricky still, but I still managed to get it off just with regular basic tools. Nothing fancy, just this really. This with a 12mm. So I had my little swivel with a 12mm shallow socket, and then I used a 12mm deep socket for all the other ones. So not exactly straightforward, but it's doable. So this was hard to get off. I had to cut a slit in here, which I don't think really helped out at all. This pipe goes up pretty far inside of that hose, which I don't know why they didn't make it like this on the van to begin with whenever they assembled this thing. But Toyota said this part was changed out 3 years ago when my friend called the dealership. So again, that didn't happen from the part wearing out. There was a little pinhole that was spraying. It was on, I believe, this side. I was looking for it and couldn't find it, but I could see where it was spraying out when the van was running. But anyway, so this is it. It should bolt on, as you can tell. Not much of a difference between these two parts, except for one's all metal and one's metal and rubber. So this one is obviously better. Gasket's made up. But anyway, I'm going to throw this on, and then that'll be it. Problem will be fixed. We won't have to worry about this again. Okay, I'm under the van, and as you can see, I can get this to focus. there. So as you can see, what I had to do was, because this is all metal and the other one was metal and rubber, I took these two studs out. So that stud that goes into this flange on this side and the stud that goes into this flange on this side, they were actually, they weren't very tight to begin with, so it was really easy to loosen those and pull those out. If you do that before you take the bracket all the way out, if you have the reverse Torx fitting that you can fit on the end of that, it would be a lot easier for you to remove this bracket altogether without having to take off the rubber hoses that connect the two ends of the piece. So I didn't loosen any flanges up on the one that's closer up to the exhaust. Those kind of stayed, so I didn't loosen any studs. I'm sorry, I didn't loosen any of the studs in there. But yeah, if you do loosen the studs and you take them out on this side, it's way easier. It's 10 times easier. You just slip the top on, and then you slip the bottom on, slide the gasket in from the bottom, and then put the bolts in to hold it in place, and then just slide the studs in, and that's it, and you're done. So anyway, that's it. This is all in. This is good. Bolts in fine. Fits up perfectly. I didn't have to bend the metal at all or anything. It really bolts in fine. So I hope this helps. So this was informative, and yeah, it's really not as hard as you might think it would be. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and God bless you guys.